Heaping praises on the Indian Army for surgical strikes on Pakistan's terror infrastructure. Prime Minister Narendra Modi drew parallels to Israel. Hailing the Indian Army, he said that the world used to talk about the achievement of Israel Army. Now it is also talking about Indian Army.
भारत की सेना भी किसी से कम नहीं है.
The Modi Sarkar's all-out surgical offensive. A big pat for the Indian Army from the Prime Minister, comparing the 29th September armed offensive to covert operations by the Israeli forces. It's the second time PM Modi himself has referred to the strike on POK camps within a week.
समय के बंधनों से, परिस्थिति की आवश्यकताओं से युद्ध कभी-कभी अनिवार्य हो जाते हैं.
आजकल पूरे देश में हमारी सेना के पराक्रम की चर्चा हो रही है. पहले कभी हम इजराइल ने ऐसा किया सुनते थे, लेकिन देश ने देखा कि भारत की सेना भी किसी से कम नहीं है.
As several states are headed for assembly polls, the surgical din has peaked, with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj also launching a scathing attack on Pakistan. Even as surgical strike politics rages, Pakistan has intensified terror games, with 29 ceasefire violations along the LOC in Jammu and Kashmir after the surgical strikes to dismantle the terror camps. Bureau Report, India Today.
With elections approaching in Uttar Pradesh, the issue of Ram Temple has once again cropped up as one of the main poll planks. The SP and the BJP are involved in a tussle to woo the Hindu voters. Meanwhile, the Congress is struggling over the differences over Priyanka Gandhi and the rumoured Rita Bahuguna Joshi's defection.
Even as winters approach, temperatures are rising in a poll-bound Uttar Pradesh. And political parties are not shy of invoking the divine, with both the ruling Samajwadi Party and BJP in a race to play the Ram card. UP government has planned a sprawling Ram Leela theme park spread across 25 acres in Ayodhya. The BJP is not far behind with the plan of a Ramayan museum, with the Union Tourism and Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma even visiting Ayodhya to inspect a site for the structure.
एक भूमि यहाँ से 7 किलोमीटर दूर 28 एकड़ भूमि है. इन दोनों भूमियों में से हमारा प्रयास होगा कि आज हम निश्चित कर दें कि किस भूमि पर ये भव्य संग्रहालय बने, रामायण म्यूजियम. और मैं समझता हूँ इसके लिए सरकार की तरफ से, पूरी भारत सरकार की तरफ से धनराशि भी अवमुक्त की जा चुकी है.
But hardliners in the BJP are not satisfied, terming the museum a mere lollipop, demanding the immediate construction of the temple.
जो काम हो रहा है उसका स्वागत है, लेकिन सवाल ये उठता है कि अखिलेश जो काम करने जा रहे हैं वो राम थीम का पार्क बनाने जा रहे हैं, तो ये तो और उसी में हाँ रामायण थीम का भी पार्क बनने जा रहा है, केंद्र सरकार बनवा रही. तो ये कुल मिला करके लालीपाप दे करके राम मंदिर से भटकाने का काम हो रहा है.
As BJP and Samajwadi Party attempt to woo Hindu voters, Congress still seems in two minds over the role of Priyanka in the campaign for UP.
All is not well and honky-dory between Prashant Kishore and a sizable section of the Congress when it comes to the role of Priyanka Gandhi. Prashant Kishore and his camp feel that if Priyanka Gandhi after Deepavali aggressively campaigns for Congress in Uttar Pradesh, chances of party getting more seats becomes all that more high.
Congress is also staring at a high-profile defection. Former UP Congress chief Rita Bahuguna Joshi is rumoured to be joining the BJP.
रीता जी को कहेंगे? जरूर जरूर जरूर. वो बहुत ही कर्मठ हैं और जमीन से जुड़ी नेता हैं, लेकिन जब उनसे बात होगी तो जरूर विचारों का आदान प्रदान होगा. किसी पे दबाव नहीं डालते, लेकिन सलाह जरूर दूंगा कि भाई भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कोई विकल्प आज उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं.
With elections only a few months away, parties in Uttar Pradesh are gearing up for the home run. Will it be the BJP or the Samajwadi Party which will benefit from the Ayodhya push? And will the Congress be able to overcome hurdles to effect a change in its fortunes? With Javed Ansari, Bureau Report, India Today.
As India and Pakistan lock horns over Kashmir, New Delhi has its plan in place to isolate Pakistan over issue of terrorism on its soil. Meanwhile, the Indian government is in consultation with security experts to actually have a plan in place to build a wall between India and Pakistan. Team of reporters of India Today traveled to the border states to find out how BSF will face the challenges if it implements the plan of a wall between India and Pakistan.
As tension between India and Pakistan escalates and repeated infiltration bids are reported from the line of control, Home Minister Rajnath Singh has once again reiterated the government's plan of sealing off the border between the two neighbours by December 2018.
हम पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हैं कि 2018 तक हम इंडो पाकिस्तान बॉर्डर को पूरी तरह से सिक्योर करने में कामयाब होंगे.
This latest security project undertaken by the Modi government will involve sealing of the 3,323-kilometre long border between India and Pakistan. Depending on the topography, the plan is to construct a 10-feet-high wall along the border in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. In Sir Creek and the Run of Kutch, a laser wall with laser beams will be set up. Underwater and underground sensors will be placed to thwart any kind of infiltration bid. Sensors with a 360-degree radar net will be placed along the border. These will feed information about any kind of movement to a central control room. Cameras fitted with automatic guns and controlled by the command center will be able to fire at infiltrators. A ground check by reporters reveals the challenges the BSF will have to face while trying to build a fence or a wall in the deserts of Rajasthan, where shifting sand dunes make it impossible to construct concrete permanent structures. Very often, fences with barbed wires get buried under the sand and the Jawans have to start afresh.
आप देख सकते हैं ये फेंसिंग की गई है. इस फेंसिंग में किस तरह से यहाँ पर ये फेंसिंग में लगातार जो तार हैं, कांटेदार तार है, वो दबते जा रहे हैं.
From Rajasthan, we move to Punjab, where more challenges await the BSF as it tries to seal off the border. There is no way to build a wall or fence over the Ravi as it flows through northwestern India and eastern Pakistan. Over the years, this river has proven to be one of the easiest routes for terrorists to navigate. It's also believed that the terrorists behind the Deenanagar and Pathankot attack had entered India using this very passage.
It becomes difficult for the government to construct a wall over this river. This second option to stop infiltration across the border will be to install a laser fencing, though the project is still leaking dust in the record rooms.
The land border with Gujarat will be relatively easier for security agencies to seal off. Villagers from Jaloya village in Banaskantha say they feel more secure thanks to the fencing.
भी है, वहाँ पे फेंसिंग है, वहाँ पे दीवार बना दी जाए, उसके बाद क्या लगता है घुसपैठ होगी?
घुसपैठ तो कम हो जाएगी, घुसपैठ नहीं लगेगी. फिर फेंसन लगेगी तो बिल्कुल नहीं लगेगी.
दीवार होए तो कोई आने जाने का प्रॉब्लम होता नहीं है. दीवार से बहुत फर्क पड़ता है.
The challenge in this state begins along Sir Creek, where ocean waters and vast stretches of quicksand can be secured only through laser beams. With Sharad Kumar in Jaisalmer, Manjeet Sehgal in Pathankot and Gopi Maniar in Banaskantha, Bureau Report, India Today.
In a huge relief to the Union Textile Minister Smriti Irani, a Delhi trial court refused to summon her. The matter pertains to alleged irregularities in the Election Commission affidavit which she submitted regarding her educational qualifications. What comes further as a breather for Irani, who's a cabinet minister right now, is the fact that the court also said that this entire petition was in fact filed with the purpose of harassing her.
In a big relief for Union Minister Smriti Irani, Delhi's Patiala House Court has refused to summon her in the case pertaining to her educational qualifications. The court said that the evidence wasn't enough to summon Irani.
The relief of Smriti Irani, the Union Cabinet Textile Minister, came from the Delhi court today. The order of the court can be argued on two basic points. The first was the absence of any primary evidence against Smriti Irani, as Delhi High Court very categorically said that the documents pertaining to her educational qualifications could not be found. Second was the malified intent, which the court said was on the part of the petitioner, as there was about an 11-year delay in filing this entire petition.
Remember, soon after being sworn in as the HRD minister, Smriti Irani faced one of the biggest embarrassments of her life. Questions were raised over her educational qualification and the inconsistencies in her election affidavits. In 2004, Irani claimed that she had completed her BA course in 1996 from Delhi University. But in 2011, her Rajya Sabha nomination papers said her highest educational qualification was BCom Part 1, attained through correspondence from Delhi University. Then in 2014, Lok Sabha polls from Amethi constituency in Uttar Pradesh, Smriti Irani said she had completed Bachelor of Commerce Part 1 from Delhi University School of Open Learning. Smriti Irani is not the only minister embroiled in a fake degree controversy. Former Junior Education Minister Ram Shankar Katheria too was charged with forging 2 of his mark sheets allegedly to secure a job at the Agra University. In February last year, Delhi's former Law Minister Jitendra Tomar was also arrested for furnishing a fake degree to the Election Commission. With Anusha Soni, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, that's right. The Chief Minister went to the Capital Hospital last night to take a stock of the situation. He is assured that all those who have been injured will be provided free medical care by the government. He's also said that a high-level inquiry committee has been formed, which is probing the matter, and they would also look into, what caused this fire. But however, we have not heard from the state government officials as to whether they are taking this as a criminal negligence on part of this private hospital administration, and whether there is going to be any FIR that is going to be registered against the hospital authorities. That the administration has completely remained mum on. We'll have to wait and see as to what their response is in the days to come.
We are shortly announcing compensation because it was a very sad news. It was unfortunate. It was an accident, and yesterday we were helpless to save the life of people.
Given that this is a massive hospital, a massive medical facility, there should have been procedures in place.
No. Everything was there. But in case of accident, what can you do?
At 7:30 p.m. on Monday, fire broke out at dialysis ward of SUM hospital in Bhubaneswar, reportedly due to a short circuit. And within a matter of 10 minutes, the blaze spread to ICU ward. While the fire tenders rushed to the spot, the massive blaze consumed the first floor of the hospital.
आंख खोल करके देखी और रोई भी और कुछ बात करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन कर नहीं पाई। तब हमने सोचा ठीक है, हमने इतना पैसा खर्च करके लाया, कुछ सार्थक हुआ। लेकिन 7 बजे तो पता चला कि चल गया है। हम 7 बजे मेरा भाई था, छोटा भाई, वो टेलीफोन करके बताया कि आग लग गया है।
The raging fire destroyed around 50 beds and filled the second floor with smoke. It was only at around 10 in the night that the fire was brought under control. But it was already too late for many. Patients are still coming to terms with their loss.
वो सोम हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट थे। जस्ट 2 मिनट हुआ उनको छोड़ के, उनके बेटा नीचे आए थे तो आग लग गया ऐसा। उसके बाद वो दौड़ के गए तो पूरा दरवाजा बंद है, कोई खोलता नहीं, छोड़ता नहीं, वहीं पे खत्म हो गए थे।
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, who visited the hospital at midnight, had to face the wrath.
The government will see that all the costs for the injured will be looked after, and I've ordered an RDC inquiry into this whole matter.
But even as the death toll rises, a blame game has begun. While the hospital administration has denied any lapses, Fire officials told India Today that fire safety audits have not been conducted for the past 3 years, and the earlier audit showed glaring lapses.
Everything functioning normally. It is open. Most of the wards are functioning. Patients, those who have gone back to their families and their relatives' house yesterday, they have come back.
Well, I'll put it this way. Our officers who attended the call yesterday, I had a review meeting with all of them in the morning today, and they've given me certain feedback about what's happened.
The Bhubaneswar hospital fire tragedy once again brings to the core issues of medical negligence that plagues Indian healthcare system and a complete lack of safety mechanisms. Angry families of the victims now raise several questions as to how the fire could spread to the very sensitive intensive care unit. And even if the fire had broken out due to a short circuit, how was it that the hospital management failed to contain it at the very beginning?
As the outrage peaks, an FIR has been filed against hospital authorities. Interestingly, even as the hospital management denied negligence, it has suspended 3 officials. Bureau Report, India Today.
Sudhish Kumar sacrificed his life for the country, though the Samajwadi Party leadership didn't even have time to attend his last rites. The family of the martyred soldier accused the Chief Minister of playing politics. Although after assurances that the Chief Minister will meet them soon, they did relent and perform the last rites.
Sudhish Kumar lost his life on the line of control in Rajouri. The Jawan was martyred after Pakistan troops opened fire at an Indian post on Sunday night. After the army paid tributes to the soldier, the body was taken to Kumar's home in Uttar Pradesh. The grief at the death of the young Jawan was overtaken by bitterness in Sambhal. The family hit out at Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Kumar for not even coming to Kumar's house. The Samajwadi Party's senior leader Shivpal Yadav attended BSF Jawan Nitin Kumar's funeral. But nobody from the ruling party's top leadership even visited Sudhish's family. The martyr's family has accused Akhilesh Yadav of discriminating on the basis of caste.
The last rites of martyr Sudhish Kumar were performed with full state and regiment honours, even as thousands thronged to pay the last tribute to this brave soldier, the son of the country. They said this promise that his efforts and his sacrifice will not go in vain.
The family is proud of Sudhish Kumar and his martyrdom. All that they are asking for is that the state to recognize his contribution to the nation. Bureau Report, India Today.